Okay guys, we're going to try again. I've got a new recorder here, so hopefully now my dialog boxes will pop up. I'll go back and redo some recordings as I grade again. I'll just keep doing these, and that way you'll get all the pieces and parts together. Okay, so we left off a while ago with having a real problem right here trying to figure out how to grade this area. And I really don't know what I'm going to do yet, because I need to go to this point, and I need to go that way and that way. And if I can't go that way and that way, then I'm not going to be able to make this work without putting an inlet in here. And I think I'm just going to break down, put an inlet in here, and see what I can do. Because that inlet's going to be at about 103, grades 103. I can put 2 foot of cover and be about 100. I've got plenty of area to get out. I just don't want a big old huge pond in the back, but I'm going to have something like that. I reckon that's what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to erase this test surface I had. I don't need it right now. And I'm going to go back in here. Now, I talked about this in previous videos about how in Civil 3D, in a civil drawing, everything is not 90 degrees north and south and east and west like it is in an architectural plan, because real world is rotated to something. And but however, this plan here, all these interior, the parking lot, the building, all this drives, they're parallel and perpendicular to each other. So if I want to draw with that, what I can do is, with an X reference, I have to do a little bit. I can't pick X references for objects lines. I have to actually have a line in this drawing. So if I create a line that's parallel and perpendicular to this section, what I can do is I can whoops, I did undo. What I can do is I can change my coordinate system, X, Y's down here. I can rotate that to this, to be parallel and perpendicular to this line, and therefore when I do ortho and do lines and do stuff, insert text, whatever, it rotates to that. And all you have to do is type in UCS for Universal Coordinate System. E for entity, pick the entity. Doesn't matter which end you pick when you're just doing lines and such. Text matters. What you need to know is that whatever end you pick, that will set your XY coordinates in that direction. So if you pick the other end, your XY coordinates go different. So some things it matters, sometimes it doesn't. I think what I'm going to do is try to put that inlet right here. I have a drain inlet that I use to put in, so I know what I'm drawing to, where I'm draining to. And of course, they won't slope this. That'll come in as a spot, so all these lines will go to these points here. Make it to the midpoint of that, and then to the midpoint of that, and to the midpoint of that. Now most people would probably just went to the center of that, call it that. That's okay, it doesn't really matter. I'm a little anal sometimes. I want it to be as normal as it can really be. Is what's really out there. So what we want to do is we want to go from here on our grade select, go from here to here at minus 0.75 right there. See what that does. That gives me 103. Let's draw a feature line, home, feature line, create feature line, okay. And we're just going to go around here to grade a 0. All the way around, grade 0, grade 0, close, and annotate, add line, add, so that we make sure that we keep everything at 0. Alright, so 103.8, so that made that 103.8, and now we need to take that, make it go to there, and it didn't pick up that elevation. It actually picked up this elevation. So what we need to do, I think that's what I was telling you earlier, and it didn't pop up, but your elevation marker came up, and these white marks are every time these feature lines that don't have points in them try to cross, and it's picking up the elevation from the line that's crossing it. So what I do is I come in here and insert a PI here, and it needs to be at 103.080. Put one right here, 103.080, and one right here at 103.080. And then it's picked those up, and now it'll change these. And so one thing we do know is that we don't have to slope, we don't have to bring all this water from here over here, because we can bring it out this flume right here. That's going to help a little bit, because that gets us at 0.42. This is at 137. This is at 137. This was at 0.5. This is at 148. This is 1%. So we can come in here, we can make this a positive 1%. Let's make it 1%. REA, regen, that's 2% right there. So we can go back and drop this back down to 103.10 that we had earlier. Whoops, hit enter. 103.10 to right there. 103.10. And what did that do right here? That's okay. That's bringing that water to here. So because we raised this corner up to go this direction, so we'll just watch it. We'll just watch what happens. 103.10, 103.30. Let's just see if we do a straight line from here to here, and we grade that down at 0.75. Then what does that put that at? That puts that at 102.60. So we're too low right here, actually. That's not going to work. So we're going to come back here, grade 1.00. What's that put us at? 103.22. So what we'll do is we'll just run to here. That's basically flat across there, and this should be flat across there. So we want our water to come down this route in that way. So what do we have here? We have 135, 130. So this is flat here also. So what we want to do is probably come somewhere in here and get that water going that way and that way. So we get this coming out of here somewhere. What are we're at 103.69 here, 169, and we're at 103.08 right there. Those are pretty close. So what we do want, let's just draw us a polyline from right here, from this corner to right here. We're going to check it with right click and hit properties. I'll bring a properties box over here. It picked up the elevation. We want that elevation to be 0, so that when we put a point right here, we insert a PI, it'll pick up whatever, it'll pick up whatever runs across there, and it didn't change that. So it picked up the elevation that was on that line from that point to that point. Now we'll feature line, create feature, home, feature line from objects right here. And this one should pick up both of those. 103.4, 103, so 0.94. So that's going in that direction and going that way. That's going that direction and going that way. Let's see, so 75. So at this point, all right, so let's add one right here. That water's going right there, but it's not going anywhere. It's too flat. Okay, that's 75. That's 1%. That's 9/10. We don't really care what that is. We just need to make sure it don't get flat when we come back in here. So 103.1. So it's pretty flat going in that direction. So we got to slope the water in that way. So what we want to do is we want to, since we know the water's going this way and not that way and down, we want to put a contour right there, 103.080 to right here. It should pick up that elevation. You said it showed it was 0.09%. Okay, so 0.29. So I'm going to check this right here. It's got some kind of elevation. I'm going to put it at 0 so it don't pick me up, because it was trying to pick that elevation up. I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and we're going to make this 0.75 regen, so everything updates. So that's still below, that's 0.75. We didn't change it. 102734. So what we're going to do here is we are actually going to pick this one up and do it like this. And 102.74. Let our elevation editor change all those. Regen, so it picks them up 1.9%. 1% that way. I'm worried about this one right here. It's 3.29. It's a little high right there. 0.6. So that works right there. And what I want to do is I want to make this one, click on this one, I want to make it a little flatter. It's too steep. Grade 1.75. That's what they would like for it to be. It's 103, 14, 48, 08. So what that tells me is now the water's coming this way, and I need to check it right here also at 102.74 to right here, and grade on that one is 52%. So I should be okay. If all these grades are greater, I should be okay with everything. -9, 1.1. You can make, you know, you see me zooming in and out, like it's because these numbers are really, really small. They're like a tenth tall. You can make these bigger. But what happens is you get places like this and they're on top of each other. So I found it easier for me just to zoom in and out and check them than it is for me to do anything else. All right, so I've got the water going from right here that way to that way, that way. So really I probably should put a feature line right here to right there, and I'm just going to insert a PI right here, and then I'm going to just run this from here to here. By doing it the way I just did it right there, okay, I didn't assign that. I did not assign that an elevation. I picked it on a line, on that line that didn't have a PI point right there. Okay, then I put a PI point right there, and I let it be whatever. I don't know what elevation it picked up. I don't really care, because basically when I put that PI point in, if I go from here to here, it keeps that same grade slope I had, and therefore I didn't really have to check the elevation. I could just go click, 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 and have one. All right, so I'm a little bit flat right there. So I'm going to take that and grade 0.75. And that's still at 103.2, so I'm still close to that old slab height right there for the existing grade, for the bottom of the curb. And it gave me a little slope that way, and it's still kind of flat that way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grade from here to here straight across. It's pretty flat. So hopefully everything's grading. So hopefully I've put some slopes into everything right there. Okay. By putting that pipe in. Didn't want to put that inlet in, but I just wound up putting it in. And if I come right here, I can just about, okay, so what that does is that's going to let me, that'll let me not have to put another inlet in. I can come in here, make my pond right in this area somewhere, so I can discharge my pipe out of there. Those are the kind of things I want to make sure of. Otherwise, I want to shift this down some so I can pull it out and not have to have but one inlet in. Alright, so let's see if that works. So now we can go to surface, create surface, because I deleted the old surface. And we're going to go click test. Okay, I'm anal. I do everything in all caps. That's the way you draw. If you draw by hand, you make all your text in all caps. I do everything in all caps. I just think it looks neater and cleaner. All my file names are saved that way and everything. I'm going to make it a final surface. I don't care about layers and all that right there. This is just a test surface. I'm going to go back in here and break lines. And this popped up earlier, and I know you didn't have the information. I talked about break lines, what the defaults in this was before. You see I've set mine all to 0 to 1s except for the mid-ordinate distance and got as small as I can get it. I'm going to pick everything here and I'm going to hit OK. Alright, now that looks good. Now I want to go back and hit the water drops. Now you notice my UCS is turned. A lot of the Civil 3D commands, it doesn't matter where your UCS is, it works. They work okay. But on the water drop, something picky about it. It wants to be set at world. So X and Y is 90 and 0. So it works. So we're going to click on that, hit water drop. I'm just going to click find a layer that I know I'm not using. So I can erase them, select some and erase all. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to put water drops in. And now, if you notice, that they should change right there somewhere, going out to that little flume. But now we got everything running to kind of a center line and down. Okay. Alright. I'm not worried about this side because this side was good, if you remember right. So now we know where it's all sloping. So now let's go to annotate, add line, add surface, hit slope. I've got my own slope thing. Pick a surface, 2 point. I'm just going to start putting them along here and make sure that they look good. 73, 73, 73, 63. That's that way. Everything looks pretty good. There's nothing particular about them. They don't have to be any great. I'm not trying to be perfect with placing these, and I won't be when I put them in my drawing either. What I'm doing right now is checking slopes. I got a little bit of a flat spot right there. Okay, a little bit of a flat spot right there. You see that? Go this direction and that direction. Okay. See, it's flat right there. I got to fix that. That'll be an easy fix. What I want is I want to watch this right here. Got a little bit steep right here. Otherwise, everything looks really good. Except right there. That could be because I went across that. That's what happened. I crossed that line that's going in 2 directions. Okay, so those look really good. The only thing I have is I'm a little bit steep right there because it's not too steep for a parking lot. Family Dollar really doesn't want this over 1.5 or really 1.5. They'll leave it with 2. We usually wind up with some of that in 2. This area right here in the loading dock, they don't want too steep. So I've got to make a little bit of a change right here. And it's flat right in here because what's happening is the water's trying to decide which way it wants to go. So I need to go clean this corner up. So I'm going to click on the slope arrows and the water drops. I'm going to hit select similar because those are the only things on those 2 layers. Hit erase and clean that up. Now I want to come in here and look at that, and that says it's 0.808. I should have known I had a problem right there. So how's the best way to do that? Well, that's 75, 0.75, that's 0.75. So really probably ought to just come right here about the midpoint of that and put a new PI in. I don't care what elevation, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here and grade it at 0.75, and that's 59.75, and the elevation is 103.273, and the elevation right here is, whoops, go back to lines. Elevation here is 103.1, 103.2. So water's going to wind up coming back this way. But if it comes back this way, so I need to see what slope that water is going to come to, because it's going to want to go right here. Turn my snaps back on. 103.169 to there. See what that was. That was at 0.5%. So that should work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here. We're just going to take and add this break line that we just added. Now, sometimes I can't remember how many break lines what I've added. So what you can do is we mess with all this. You can collect all those. It's going to give you some errors with that where you cross the break lines and some stuff. But as long as my surface looks fine, those really don't bother me on this kind of surface. And I'm going to hit rebuild. Now, the reason I erased everything is because your water drops don't automatically update, okay? I have to redo those completely. So I'm going to click on the surface, click water drop. I'm going to go in here, give it a layer, and hit yes, okay? And now, where I want to start, I want to go right here. I'm going to turn my snaps off because I don't want it to snap too far. All right, so now see that took that water that way now. Because a while ago it was trying to bring it across there. So we'll see how that works. Okay. And what's nice with the start points, it gives you a place to see where everything breaks and everything. Okay. So now we're going to annotate, add label, go back to surface slope, tell it what surface 2 point. We still got what we had a while ago there, but now our elevations are better. Further we get away with better. What do we look like? We're still flat. Okay, the water's going that way, but it's flat when we get over here. Okay, so alright. So still didn't fix our problem. We're getting better, but we haven't fixed our problem. Select similar, erase, select similar. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this right here. I'm going to try something crazy. I'm going to break this right here. I'm going to erase this line, this line, this line, and this line. Okay, because what I've done is those forced that to break there. I'm going to rebuild that without those in there and see if it did anything. Now, it didn't help my slopes, but I need to check my water and see if it's flowing different. Okay. See, it does flow different. When I take those lines out, it flows different because I don't force it. Okay, I don't force it to go there. I let it go where it wants to in a big area. Okay, so let's see if that helped me any. Surface, slope, add 2 points. So we're going to look right here. It's flat right there. It's okay in that direction. Okay, it's okay in that direction. That's a little, whoops. It's a little flat right here. This is okay in that direction. So it's better. It's not there, but what we know is it's trying to slope from here to here, and then go from here. Let's try this again. Try to add a slope arrows back from here to here. Okay, so what we got to be careful there is I do want to make some changes. I think what I want to do is select similar erase. I think I want to make this 0.75 instead of that. That's 128. That's 25. And then rebuild my surface from that. And now those are better. One thing I got is this problem right here. Now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to erase this and erase this. I'm going to not force. Okay, so let's look at my surface a second. Surface properties. I'm going to turn my triangles on. This is where it created triangles. And remember I told you every time I put a I'm going to send it to the back. Every time I put a break line in, it forces triangles to go there, right? Okay, so it's forced triangles to go in those directions. So let's go back to final because it's too many lines for me to work with. If I take these out, okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take this one out or not, but I'm going to try it because I've kind of told it to go two directions. If I take these out, now it's not going to force them, but it's still going to, now it's going to make this whole area just go where it goes without creating a valley line. And now when and on my final surface, if I put those lines in there, I'm going to put spot elevations. I'm going to make them create those lines. So we're going to rebuild. And okay, so what happened was when I rebuilt it, notice these got flatter. This all got flatter. So it needs something right there to tell it to do something. Okay. We put it in that direction. So let's just create one right here. So what we're doing now is forcing things to happen. We put one, let's go to right there, and it picked up that 103 264 because it's no end point of that line right there. Alright, and then let's annotate, add line. Let's do lines. Let's see what that elevation is. It's 0.25. So now we're going to go back here, break lines. We're going to add that line back, and we're going to regen, rebuild our surface. Okay. And so we're going to erase all these because our surface might be draining different with our water drops. Right? Okay, so I keep changing this layer. I can't remember right off where it is. It's in the settings somewhere. It just takes me a second to click on it. I probably ought to go back and set that, but I haven't. So let's just see what our water drops are doing. Okay. Alright. So let's do a little quick annotate, add label. And I keep pulling this back up only because normally I'd put that on my other screen, but when I do, you can't see it in my video. So 2 point, we're right there, right there, right there, right there. Okay, right there, right there. Okay, so all right. So so what happens if we go from here to right here? 10274, 10274, that's right. Alright, now let's do a rebuild of our surface. And delete, select similar, erase, select similar, erase. Do our water drop again. Okay, where's it going? Now it's going that way and that way. Alright, now add surface labels to that one, 2 point. We know we're good here. Where are we here? 1.5, 1.5, 1.1, 2%, 2%, 0.5, 0.6, 0.6, 0.8. Really close. A little low right there. We can fix that. That's an easy fix. Okay. Alright, so my only real concern is, and can we raise it any? My only real concern is that it's a little steep right here where it doesn't need to be, because this really needs to be ADA through here. So I think what I want to do is, let's come right here, click here, grade that at minus 0.5. It ain't much, but it may be enough to get me up. Now I can take this, grade from here around to there at 0. And then I can grade, just will hit it here, 102.805. That's a closed loop, and I don't know where the start and end point was, so it's a little harder to do that one. So it's just as easy to click on that. So let's regenerate our drawing, rebuild. Everything's going to drain to the same place. It's just do okay. So we're still a little bit steeper than I want to be in that direction, right there. Okay, I was so close to getting this thing. It's difficult. It's challenging. It's not difficult. It's challenging. So need to be careful. I don't want to be way over here with my inlet. I can move my inlet back here, and then I could raise it a little bit, and that would work, but that's not going to help me any. That's at 0.5%. So what really needs to happen is this line needs to be back out here, kind of where we had it to start with. So I'm going to go back in here, create me a reference line, polyline, PL, from right here to right here, and then from here to here. And I don't know if they'll fill it, because they're not. So check the elevation of that, properties, elevation 0. It picked 0, which is good. So I want to take this and erase this one. Let's erase these water drops. Let's erase this. Now feature line, create feature line from objects. Take that one. Now we go back to annotate, add label, line. There, missed it. Line here to here, 102.805 to 103.169, and that grade is too flat. So what I need to do is, it's got to be a little steeper. But because I move it over off of from where it was, I'm hoping I can go from there to here at minus 0.5, and then make all of this 102.752. And go back here, go to brake lines, add brake lines, pick these up, those are still okay, close that, regenerate my drawing, rebuild my drawing, see it move that line over just a little bit, change my UCS back, turn my snaps off, click on here, water drop, pick my path, elevate, layer, yes, okay, and it's going to go like that. Okay. Alright, now annotate, add label. surface slope. Pick that surface 2 point. This is where we care about 137, 169, 178, 178, 137. It's going that way and that way. It's because we got off track. If we put it on track, it's okay. It's trying to go that way and that way is why it was 0.48. Okay, so the only thing I need to do now is I need to home feature line, create a feature line from right here, and that elevation is 103.069, and that elevation is 103.303, and that is, add the line, that is 76. And so what I'm fixing to do is I'm getting rid of this flume. I'm going to create a feature line from right here, 103.069 to right here, and elevation. And I'm going to say, I'm going to make that 0.5% or 75. Grade 0.75. And then I'm just going to come in here. I'm actually going to delete these two PIs now because I don't need them. That one and that one. And so I'm going to take that and I'm going to make it 0.50. Grade 0.5. Now I'm going to come in here, break lines. Whoops, let's delete these water drops, select similar, delete this, select similar, erase. Add a couple break lines right here. I think that's what I added, I don't know. It doesn't matter, we're good. It doesn't add 15 of them, it just says, oh, I can't do that. Now we're going to go back, put a water drop in, pick our layer, whatever layer we want. Yes. Now we hopefully we go right down. Okay, so that's wanting to go that way to that way. So I've got to fix that. That ain't what I want. Select similar, erase. Feature line, create feature line. Alright, so I got to think about this because I almost forgot. I get so busy designing and drawing. Slide right here. Excuse me. I changed that line. I can't do that. That line right there, I'm going to insert a PI at the surface because it's supposed to be surface elevation. And that elevation right there has got to be 102.87. Elevation 102.87. It's got to be existing. It's got to be the existing grade right there. They got to match that. Okay. So 103.2, 103.069. That was 0.79, and that's going to go that way. That water's going to go that way. Okay. I don't know what I did or didn't add. I'm going to add them back. It's not going to. It's not going to overwrite those. It's telling me that there's some ignored duplicates. See, so it just every time it does it, it just ignores a duplicate. So that way I make sure I got it. I'm gonna clean it all up in a minute anyway. Water drop. Go back. Add the water drop. Turn the snaps off. Okay, where are we going? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Now annotate, add surface. And from that surface 2 point. Now we got a couple things going right here. It looks good. Right there. It's kind of steep right there, but we can't help that. It's going to be what it is. It's a little steep right in that corner. We're not going to do much back here. Our truck's just going to back here and stop, so I'm not going to be quite as concerned. I just don't want water. See, I got kind of steep right there. See, I did something. I have to come back and figure that out. But anyway, I'm fixing to have to take a break here for myself. But you see what I'm getting at. I'm going to pick this back up. I'll probably have this finished up before I do this because it's getting kind of tedious for y'all and for me too. But I don't know any other way to make these things work like this. And when you got a small surface, I mean a small site like this, an acre and a half site, and you got all of it's fairly flat. This one's, it doesn't matter if it's flat. If you don't put if you try not to put any structures in, it's difficult to grade. In these areas, it's still difficult to grade because I'm trying to match existing stuff because they want to still be able to drive around this building or this area. So it's creating some problems. I'm not going to grade this on this video. I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to try to figure out how to grade that. And then once I get that graded, I'll pick back up with a video on how I tie all the curbs in, and I'll also do a section where I design the ponds for this project too. So y'all can see I'll do that. But that's kind of where I'm at on that. So I'm going to stop this recording for now.